All right, guys. It's Scott back here on the Inside Scoop. We've got Jeff Choate, linebackers coach at Washington State, with Mike Leach, Mike Bresky up there. Good to have you on, Jeff.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Hey, tell me about the first spring working with the whole new staff. Tell me.
Yeah, it was fast and furious. You know, one of the things that Coach Leach is really big on is getting a ton of reps and really team reps. And so I think it was a little bit of a shock to the system for our players. And even me as a coach, I wasn't accustomed to quite that many reps in team settings. And so that took a little bit of adjustment. And once we got through about the first 2 weeks, things really started to click. And I think we had a great spring ball. Our kids really bought into what we were trying to do in all three phases. And I think we accomplished a lot of what we wanted to in terms of laying the foundation and our expectations, the work ethic, getting our base schemes in. And now, obviously, the most important time of the year is the summer, when these guys go out there and implement those things on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are just hitting the road this week, is that right? Or
yeah, last week we got out. Our last spring practice was Tuesday, and a handful of us, including myself, went out and tried to get some local recruiting in. I'm in the office this week, and I think we obviously have 7 guys out right now kind of hitting the pavement.
Nice. How did the guys pick up the defense, during spring ball?
Well, I think the learning curve was very steep. There's a lot of verbiage that obviously is changing, and I think that's always the hardest part. Is once they kind of understand the language, they can understand the scheme. And it took us probably about 2 weeks, and you could really see that sea change moment where the kids kind of clicked, and this is what we're doing here, this is what we're doing here, and I'm excited to go ahead and install it again when we get to fall camp, because I think that's really when they're going to start to understand not just their job, but how it relates to the people around them. It's a fun defense to play in. There's a lot of pressure schemes in our fire zone package, and a lot of multiplicity with different types of athletes. So I'm excited about seeing it go against a ton of really special offenses here in the Pac-12.
Yeah. Had you ever worked with any of the guys on the staff before?
No, I haven't worked directly with any of them. I knew Mike from his days at Montana, and when he was at Wyoming, when I was at Boise State, we hooked up a little bit. Obviously, our special teams coordinator, Eric Russell, and I went to high school together, which is kind of an interesting story. And so I knew of Eric. And then Jim Mastro, we butted heads plenty when he was at Nevada, and Joe Salavea was at San Jose State for a period of time. So I had a working knowledge of the body of work, a lot of these guys, and really respected them.
Yeah, I know. So you did, what, 6 years at Boise State?
Yes, sir.
Coaching special teams the entire time, and you started off with running backs, right? And then you moved over to linebackers and nickels, huh?
Yep.
So you got a little running backs in you. Mastro, kind of the preeminent pistol guy, teaming up with Leach. It's going to be a fascinating offense to watch. Yeah,
it really has. I mean, they create a lot of problems for you, and what Jim's brought to the table with the run game, it's not going to be extensive. Obviously, Mike's philosophy is to, not do everything in the world, just do what you're doing really well. But his whole concept about football in space, and they stretch you out horizontally, and it creates some challenges in the run fits, and the things that Jim's brought to the table, I think, are some nice wrinkles.
Good. I was thinking about that offense. Exactly what you said, Mike. In all honesty, he keeps it kind of simple, but you're really, really good at it. On defense, are y'all the same way, or what's kind of the philosophy there?
Well, I think we're a little bit different on defense. I think anytime you're coaching a defensive scheme, you can say, hey, this is our base, but obviously the offenses that you're playing against are going to dictate a lot of what you're able to do and what's going to be successful against, and so much of it comes down to game planning, but you got to have something to hang your hat on. And I really believe that what we're going to hang our hat on is just fanatical effort and a lot of fire zones. We're going to bring a lot of pressure. We're going to kind of zip and zap and move some guys around, and with that, if it fits right, it's going to look great, and there's times where it doesn't fit correctly. And you've got to minimize the explosive plays in those situations, and I think that's what you're going to see is, and that's what Coach Leach wanted out of the defense was he didn't want guys that were going to sit back and play base. He wanted to make things happen.
Good. Hey, we recently took a little tour of the Pac-12. We made 9 of the programs. Unfortunately, you guys were on spring break that week, so we didn't get there. But we saw enormous investment in facilities ongoing everywhere. I've seen some video of what you guys are doing at the stadium. How are the facilities coming along there?
Yeah, I think that when you look at, I think there's really 2 conferences in the country that have positioned themselves to be elite football conferences right now, and I think obviously the SEC and the Pac-12 are those 2, and a big part of it is the investment that the media contract allows you to make, and so I think if there's places that are going to change more than any other place you've seen, this is going to be one of them. There really hasn't been the type of investment into facilities here, football-wise, that you're going to see over the next 3 years here, and it's going to change the face of our program. It's going to elevate our recruiting, And I think Bill Moose, our athletic director, had a great vision of what he wanted to accomplish here. And that started with the hire of Mike Leach, and it's an exciting time to be a Coug.
Yeah, we're big fans of what Bill's done. We need to get up there soon and take you guys out to dinner and congratulate you guys on what y'all are doing. All right, tell me this, and I'm going to let you go. It seems like 10, 12 years ago you were coaching at the high school level. It's fantastic ascension. You know, you did 6 years at Boise State. You're now at Washington State coaching with Leach and Bresky, and just a great staff, great opportunity. How's that happen? You know, not so much how's it happened for you. I think it's incredible work ethic. But what advice do you give to young guys that want to do something similar? You know, how does a high school coach take that step to?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a lot of it was a leap of faith. I mean, I think timing and circumstance had a lot to do with it. You have to have a tremendous amount of belief in yourself. And in my particular situation, I was married and I had a child, and I've had another child since then. And so I had to have tremendous support and trust from my wife. You know, this is a team effort. And so, you know, I credit her with a lot of it. You know, she encouraged me and said, yeah, you know, you can do this. And I think one of the things that a lot of people, I have a saying that I talk to my players about, and I said, that's in the short run, you get what you get, and in the long run, you get what you deserve. And if you believe in yourself and you have confidence in your abilities and you work hard, treat people right, your opportunity is going to come. And you know, that's part of the reason why I left Boise State. I really felt like I had more in me. There were some other things that I wanted to accomplish, and the situation I was in there wasn't really allowing me to continue to grow as a coach. And this opportunity presented itself, and I felt like it did. And I think that's the big thing, is regardless of whether you're a JV coach at a 4A high school or you're the defensive coordinator in the SEC, you've got to continue to grow and challenge yourself and not get comfortable in a situation and believe in your abilities. And I think that's the whole thing, is, you know, you got to have a lot of trust in your own abilities and say, you know what, I'm going to take a step back maybe financially for a period of time, because that's what you're going to have to do if you do what I did. But you're going to have to hopefully be comfortable with both ends of it. You got to know what the end game is going in. Here's the best case scenario. Here's the worst case scenario. I can live with it either way, because coaching ball is coaching ball. It doesn't matter if you're doing it at an 8-man school in Central Idaho or you're doing it in the NFL. You know, hopefully we're all doing it for the right reasons, and that's because we love coaching kids and seeing them progress and mature. And you know, that's a little bit of my story. And you know, I get a lot of questions about that. I do. How did you do what you did? And, you know, I think it took some guts, it took some courage, it took some luck, but it also took a lot of hard work.
Looking forward to coaching against Wilcox and Sermon up at
Yeah. It's, you know, I talked to Justin, text back and forth with him last week, and, you know, a lot of great friends and colleagues in this business. And, you know, I think a lot of what happens sometimes is people get pitted against one another, but ultimately, you know, we're all in the same business, and I think we pull for each other as much as we can. You know, your heart goes out to guys in situations like what happened at Arkansas, where, you know, people on that staff and things out of their control affect them greatly and their families greatly. And so we've all got to stick together in this business, and not just Justin, but, you know, guys all over the country. Brent Pease is a very close friend of mine in Florida. Wish him the best. And, you know, Brian down there at the University of Texas, Marcel Yates at A&M, and then all my brothers down there at Boise State. So, you know, we're all in this together, and I'm just blessed to be able to be in the Northwest and live where I want to live and get to do something I want to do.
Jeff, I appreciate it. This was great. I look forward to staying in touch with you guys, and I will talk to y'all soon.
Thanks, Scott. Take care.